So what we're going to talk about right now is scope selection. I get a lot of questions every day from different guys I train through the emails and phone calls. What scope do I need? What scope is the best scope? What scope is the best scope at the best price? So really, when you talk about scopes, every scope is just a different tool for a different application. So we're going to go through these kind of fast and let you kind of see the differences. First off, you have something like this. It's a 1:8 power scope made by Leopold. This is a very nice scope for different applications. Obviously, we're not going to use this shooting at 2,000 meters, but for 3-gun competition, for short range hunting, for M4 work, for law enforcement stuff, this is a fantastic little scope. All right, so you can get different reticles in it. This one actually has a T1 reticle in it. All right, now we move into something like this. This again is a very short scope, but this is a 4-16 Attacker by Night Force. This is one of the best pieces of glass that I've shot. I really love this scope. It has a great parallax, has very tactile ticks in it, has a very low profile turret. All right, so this is a very nice scope. For all types, really more of an all-around type usage. All right, so we could actually shoot 2,000 meters, and we do with that scope, but it's still low enough and a short enough scope that we can use with a lot of different night vision. We can put it on anything from an M4 all the way up to a 338. So this is a very short scope. It's a 3-18 Leopold. So this scope has been looked at extensively by the military because of its shortness, and it's still a very high power scope. So 3-18 power, it'll go down very low, give you a big field of view. This is a great scope for hunting, all right? So you can shoot in the woods with it, but you can also stretch it out. So this is a very nice scope, all right? Then the next scope is a Bushnell scope. This is an ERS, all right? So it has locking turrets, has very tactile clicks, has 27% more adjustment with this scope than the HDMR. So I like the ERS series. This is probably for the money, this is one of the best scopes you can buy on the planet today. It's really good glass, gives you a full range of the options of different types of reticles. All right, now you move into really long range scopes. These are this is a 5-25 Beast from Night Force. Again, one of the best scopes that I shoot. Has 0.2 mil clicks. These are all mil. Now this scope here is a 3.5-25. So this by Leopold, again, another great scope. These are actually really long range scopes. So when you're asking or when you're looking at what type of scope that you need, for one, you need to look at price range. Like we had talked about earlier, when you're looking at scopes, I'm probably going to spend more money on my scope now than I would have when I was younger, just because the scope is probably the most important piece of kit that you're going to buy for your long-range tool, really for any shooting that you do with a rifle. All right, so now that we've actually got the scope selected, whichever one you pick, now let's talk about quick run and look at reticles. All right, now when you look at reticles, we have everything from duplex reticles to mil-dot reticles to ballistic reticles to grid reticles. So looking at duplex, standard duplex, just crosshairs, we've got a lot of different ways we can make use of them. All right, the next is mil-dots. Now mil-dots have become a little bit antiquated with the use of gridded reticles. Then you look at ballistic reticles. Now ballistic reticles are really neat in the way that they work if you don't change your ballistic coefficient, your muzzle velocity, or density altitude. And this is something that you got to understand. They're a great concept for short range. And when I say short range, I'm talking about anywhere out to 400 or 500 meters. A ballistic reticle actually works extremely well. But once you actually start stretching your legs out a little bit, and now you're talking 800-900 meters, you really can't trust a ballistic reticle to actually be correct. And if you want to change your ballistics, change your bullet, change your muzzle velocity, or change your density altitude, you can bet those lines aren't going to line up with what they originally meant. So ballistic reticles are fine, but try to keep them somewhere 500 meters and in, and you'll love it. And it's not going to change with density altitude. What it does change is very minute. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about right now is your mounting system. All right, now this is very important. Now this is a LaRue Tactical LT111. All right, so I've tried a lot of different mounts from all over, and what I found was this mount retains my zero better than any other mount that I've actually used. All right, so when we're talking about mounts, what you got to realize, I see a lot of people show up, and I used to probably be the same way. I'd buy as much glass as I could afford, but I'd go buy a cheap mount because a mount's a mount, right? Well, actually, it's not that way. A good mount allows your scope to remain zeroed. So this is a very, very important piece of kit. So make sure that you spend good money on your mount because it's going to allow you to get the quality out of that scope. All right, so that's just a quick look at scopes and different types of reticles that you can get with them. So we go anywhere from scopes that aren't extremely expensive in the Bushnell up to, you know, some of the best scopes out there today. So really investigate what you're wanting out of your tool. Select the best scope that you can find. Pick a reticle that you can actually make the most out of for what you're wanting out of your shooting. All right, go to wheretoshoot.org, find a place near you, and enjoy that time on the range with your family. And remember, be safe.